Welcome to VGL Season 1, our 2v2 season. We are in Week 3 action, and tonight's matchup is bnasty and his teammate Diener, coming off a strong win versus Satchmo and the legendary Mord. Mord, of course, a former VGL champion. He was handed his first defeat by the hands of dude from Brazil and Celo. Very heartbreaking Game 3 matchup there, and they are looking to get the machine back in motion against their new opponents here, Diener and bnasty. So the map for Week 3, our featured map, is Scorched Haven. We've seen a lot of play from this map on the user selection. It's ironic that it comes up now as an actual default map. So we'll have to see how this plays out. We see bnasty going for an early wall off here. It's quite a big gap to wall off. We have seen Diener and bnasty play on this map during Season 1, and they have tried to somewhat successfully wall this off. So we'll have to see if they go for that again. We see B going out for a little bit of scouting. We do also see an Overlord from Satchmo looking around, and Mord also Overlord located over his natural. See a lot of droning going on right now, no early pools so to speak of. Scorched Haven, of course, a little bit of a mixed bag on pros and cons. It does have a lot of routes. You know, we've seen a lot of alternate routes here. We even see like another route up here, or down here I should say, through the extreme expansions and the golds. We do see, speaking of golds, we do see bnasty putting what looks like an early proxy pylon here on the gold expansion. Very interesting choice there. We also see Diener doing a little bit of scouting. He does not see a pool yet. Oh, he does see this pool though, and Mord placing this pool a little close to the larva though. I'm going to make a little interesting run around there. A little stacking issue maybe. We do see also Satchmo placing the spawning pool in the back of the mineral line. It's been a long time since I've seen anyone place a spawning pool back there. It's nice to see a classic never dies. Do see some gas going down for bnasty, and Diener going straight for minerals, looking a lot like a marine push right now. We do see a barracks going down, another supply depot. Could definitely be some kind of marine push, and we see a gateway from bnasty. Very interesting choice here behind the gold. He's definitely going for some kind of proxy. We did see something, we have seen something similar in this season so far. We'll have to see if he follows through. Definitely two gateways, very strong push there. You see Diener also meeting him over there in the center. And it looks like Diener will also join him in proxying. So we're going to see a definite proxy push here. And it's interesting, it's 3.5 minutes here, so they may try to go for a 6-minute rush there. We see a typical Diener bunker here guarding the front lines. And they do have a somewhat successful wall off here, so they have something to fall back to in case it fails. We do see some gas from bnasty, but nothing produced. Yes, let's go ahead and take a look at the production tab. See some queens coming down, dual roach warrens. That will help them in this kind of attack, especially since they'll be faced with marines. However, we have to see on the resources. You see, they are accruing some gas here, but they'll need to keep that going. Roach is very heavy in supply, so they'll need to get as much supply as possible. Of course, they need to scout this. We take a look at the map here, we'll see that they have no idea that this is going on right now. They've barely even scouted this wall a little bit. And if they had any doubts, they don't anymore, as they see a bunker going down for a bunker rush. Dead center. This bunker, of course, will get range to both ramps for any units that come down and try to support. We also see an SCV here to repair. This is very classic bunker rushing style here from Diener. We also see a single barracks only. Looks like they're also running from really far away on that barracks. Do see some zealots coming out now from bnasty. It's going to be interesting to see. Let's take a look at the unit tab here. We see some roaches out. Not a lot of roaches though. We see another barracks going down now. This is some definite ballsy play here from Diener, as he's going to try to basically shore up this beachhead here. And it looks like Mord did Satchmo, did an excellent job targeting that SCV. And just before he got chased away, they do have a very potent force here. See Satchmo calling out for help. You can't tell through the chat, but I'm guaranteeing that was most likely a semi-scream. And you see now these zealots are going to try to tank for these marines, easily dispatch those two. Diener calling down a mule, not really sure why. Mules, of course, cannot build. They can only mine and repair. But we do see over here Satchmo attempting to get some spine crawlers down. A lot of roaches though coming out now. We see on the unit tab, we do see 9 roaches out. That's definitely going to pose a problem. They also have a much shorter travel distance, considering that they're right here on the map. So it's going to be very interesting to see how that plays out. Take a look at the income tab, fairly dead even though this proxy is taking place. And unfortunately, there's just nothing to build this barracks right now. So he's Diener's lost the ability to get this barracks up and running. Really needs to get that running here. Now this mule can start repairing. He's going to have to tell it to do so. There we go. We see it repairing here. This bunker is trying desperately to whittle down these workers, and I'm sorry, these roaches. And we do see some Zerglings rushing in here, and this will probably call it quits for this bunker rush attempt here. See the barracks finally canceled. A few more roaches from Satchmo coming in, and we see them pulling back a heavily injured army here, most of them in the red to yellow. And we do see Diener putting a bunker now. They've fallen back to a secondary position over here in the gold. This is a bunker rush that's not really going according to plan right now. It'll be interesting to see if they can still pull it off. We do see a metabolic boost on the way. And we do see these two spines have matured and are in place. Take a look at the unit tab. We see it starting to sway the other way. 9 Marines, 5 Zealots. However, we do have 4 Roaches out, 8 Lings. So not 100% the other way, but they're definitely starting to bounce back. See those Lings try to do a sprint past. Unfortunately, only one is going to make it, and it will be, well, I guess killed by these 3 SCVs. Not really sure why they're moving around. I guess he's going to go for a full... Wow, look at this Diener going for an actual base build out here. They are definitely all in on this. We see a tech lab coming up as well. Definitely wants to get some Marauders to deal with this Roach threat. We have more Roaches running in now. It's not looking good at all. We see a lot of Lings underway for Satchmo, as well as some barracks. No, not really a lot of units coming out for bnasty. Only 3 Zealots. When we take a look at the resources tab here, you'll see that Satchmo is being starved right now on the mineral count. However, Mort is doing very well, and he has a good majority of units here. And we see them coming up using this high ground as an advantage, try to snipe this pylon. It's going to take out one of these gateways. They're going to go ahead and go to work on the other one, though. And this is not good at all. These Marines are not going to have a good angle to try and attack any of these Roaches here. This is a bunker rush that is starting to look bad very quickly. We see lots and lots of bunkers coming down and an engineering bay for some upgrades. We do see bnasty rolling in with a lot of Zealots here. He's going to shred those Zerglings. Unfortunately, these Roaches are going to hard counter both the Marines and the Zealots, especially without charge. And these Zealots are going to try to blow past and go for the mineral line, but they're going to be followed very closely by these Roaches, and they're going to be met by 2 very angry spine crawlers. This is not looking good at all. bnasty also has a probe in there. Not sure how he got mixed up in all this. Looks like he's literally building a proxy pylon under Satchmo's Overlord. I'm going to go ahead and guess that Satchmo's going to see that and do something about it, even though he seems to be a little distracted right now. Do see quite a roach ball building up here, though, and Satchmo will finally take down that unit. That probe, but amazingly, bnasty's pylon lives to see another day, and we see the Roaches rolling out to try and do a strong hit here. We see these tech labs finally coming up, but not fast enough for them to get any Marauders out. And you look at the income tab here, you'll see that bnasty is dwindling, Diener's even lower. This is where their all-in is really starting to backfire on them, since they have no economy to fall back on. Do see a string of SCVs coming out. Not really sure what they're going to do unless they're here to negotiate peace, because this is looking very ugly very fast. A lone Marauder taking pot shots at some very angry Roaches that I've set this building on fire. They're going to take that down. Command center is completely gone. And this is just a disaster, unfortunately. See Diener airlifting these barracks, really all he can do. Tech labs will be left behind in disgrace, and he will attempt to try and get this up and running as quickly as possible. He really needs to try and get some units out as fast as possible. You see Satchmo saying a very exclamatory, "I did." We don't really know what he's talking about there or what he got, but I'm guessing he got his swing back, because we do see a lot of his Roaches as part of this army as they are encroaching desperately close to the Diener line here. And Diener, it comes down to Diener and how fast he can build, but to be honest, it is not looking good at all. We have a lone Marine in this bunker, scared shitless as he goes down completely, and this is all but over at this point. We see a couple of stalkers coming in to try and maybe use the wall as an advantage to try and snipe some of these Roaches, but it is not looking good. They are just hitting everything here, and we have more Roaches piling up at the home base here. We have expansions down, economies rolling on both sides. This was a textbook recovery for Mort and Satchmo, proving that they can recover from. We've seen them recover from cheese before. We've seen Chromix and Timba attempt to do a very heavy 5.5–6 minute rush, and they were able to bounce back very nicely from that, especially with Mort taking quite a big hit on here. We see Diener calling in the SCVs in desperation. They will die almost instantly. We do see a single DT come out from bnasty. Last-ditch effort there. as he tries to sneak that out from his gateways that he's built in his main, and those will definitely come in handy and dispatch some of these roaches here. But it's going to be way too easy for these guys at this point to just go ahead and get an observer. We do have layers down for both, and also a spire underway. We see these roaches running away with bnasty's DTs in tow. Take a look at the production tab. We don't see too much being built. On the unit side, we see 4 DTs to bnasty's name. 1 single Marauder remains for Diener. This is not looking good at all. We have monstrous amounts of roaches, 16 to 17 a piece. Lots and lots of economy. We do have an observer on the map now, and they will make quick work of these DTs as they attempted to go for a mineral line. And now we will see these roaches roll out with observer in tow, or overseer in tow, I should say, and that will pretty much spell doom and end any hope of a DT comeback here. See an unpowered gateway just kind of sitting there in the middle. A Diener, look at how desperately low he is on resources. Just completely, his income down to only 12 workers. It is abysmally low. We do see this overseer got a little ahead of the pack here, but as they get closer, they will finally be able to take that out. And this should be the game, as this enormous ball of roaches is basically going to teach Diener and bnasty a lesson in counterattacking. And they are just going to rampage through this. The GG from Diener, and a heartbreaking defeat from Diener and bnasty, coming off of a win. Mord and Satchmo looking for a victory after coming off a Game 3 loss, and a very exciting turn of events as the hunter became the hunted, essentially, as that proxy rush failed to put a dent in the Mord Satchmo economy, and they were able to bounce back and get an early win. We'll have to see how both of these teams play out Game 2, and if we'll see any similar antics.